Okay, sit yourself onto your left and then come into a good cross-leg position. Just have a little wriggle about, just make sure that you are feeling evenly placed on your mat, that there's levelness at the hips, and that you feel like you are able to elevate the heart area upwards. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears. So you elongate the neck and bring elevation into the front chest. Lift the sternum bone to the ceiling, draw the shoulder blades in towards the front chest to really open up the front chest. Hold on to the knees, pull against the knees to lift into the chest, pull against the knees to roll onto the front edge of the seat bone. Draw the belly button towards the spine. And then look at something that doesn't move. Look at something that doesn't move so that your eyes stay still in the sockets. It's a really good way of quietening the brain. It's also a good method to calm nerves. If you're feeling nervous about something, just keep your eyes focused on something that doesn't move. And the nerves start to dissipate. So I think everyone here today is a performer of some kind, and so nerves can be a barrier. So keeping your eyes still in the sockets is a good way to quieten the brain, to switch off the negative external thought and just focus on the breath. Release your knees, bring your hands into Namaste, push the palms firmly together, lengthen from your armpits into your elbows. And with an exhalation, allow your eyes to gently close. Focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Focus on filling the lungs from the bottom to the top and emptying the lungs from the top to the bottom. Just enjoy the quietness of the sound of the breath. Observing how the sound of the in-breath sounds a little like the sea coming into the beach, and the out-breath sounds like the water retreating back into the ocean. Just visualize sitting on a beach, the sound of the seagulls, the warmth of the sun on your skin. Just watching the waves come in and go out in synchronicity with your breath. With an exhalation, draw your chin down to meet your chest, leaving the image of the beach behind. Just spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area. And then gently release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. Bring the tip of the index finger with the tip of the thumb. It's a gesture of wisdom, of physical intelligence, and of peacefulness that we can carry into our practice. So physical intelligence, we all possess it. It's the consciousness of the physical body in 3 dimensions. Just like when we put our hand in our pocket and we can differentiate between our keys and our phone and our wallet without seeing with our eyes, but we can feel with our hands. It's the ability to see through feeling and touch. So feel the body in 3 dimensions. Feel the solidity of your frame and the muscles and the skin and the flesh. Observe how you connect to the floor. Maintain your position on the front edge of the seat bones. Observe how your feet connect to the ground. Observe whether you feel evenly balanced at the seat bones. And then raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to come back. Hold on to your knees, elevate the heart area upwards, drawing your shoulders down. Take a deep inhalation in through the nose. Feeling the chest expand with the in-breath, and then come around to the right side, drawing your abdomen across. Observe your body's response to the pose. Is there resistance? Is there freedom? Is there a combination of those? So feel the body in 3 dimensions, from the feet to the face. Feel the skin from the face to the feet. Come back to the center. Hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the left. Again, just observing where there is resistance, where there's freedom. Acknowledging whether areas that perhaps you expected to be resistant are or not. Maybe there's resistance elsewhere. So resistance is just a moment of discomfort, perhaps. So we work to really respect it and not push too hard. not give in to it at the same time. We draw our attention beyond that resistance. Just gently come back to the center. Just take a few deep inhalations and deep exhalations. Just observe the feeling of the body from the feet to the face, from the face to the feet. Stretch your arms out in front, interlock the fingers, turn the palms all the way out, and then raise your arms over your head. In asana, squeeze in the outer elbows in. Fill in the lungs and emptying them. Broaden the armpit chest to the sides of the room as much as you can. Bring the arms back down. Swap the interlock of the fingers and again raise your arms over your head. Just working with observation of your in-breath and your out-breath. And then release your arms, just relax the hands, palms facing upwards, just observe the openness of the shoulders, the feeling in the shoulders after asana. Come off your lift and then come down into Adho Mukha Virasana. Just establish the sensation of your shins on the mat before you come forwards. Just really listening to the sound of the shins in contact with the floor. And I did say the sound of, and obviously they don't like kind of sing or make klaxon noises at you, but can you feel through the skin? Listen to the skin. Feel how the shin bone, if you press it into the shin skin, how it activates the thighs. And when you activate the thighs, you can then draw energy up into the spine to elevate the spine upwards and then come forwards, keeping the seat bones in contact with your heels. Spread the fingers, spread the palms, feel that you can really stretch out the spine. Keep the tailbone down, lengthening the sacrum, broadening the lumbar, and then lengthening from the hips into the armpits, into the elbows, the wrists, the palms, the finger knuckles, the fingers, the fingertips, the fingernails. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, feeling the body in 3 dimensions. See the body in 3 dimensions. Listen to the shins. Listen to the arms, to the shoulders, to the neck. Listen to that sensation of connection between the seat bones and the heels. Use a folded blanket between the seat bones and the heels if they don't stay in contact. Or blocks. If you're miles away, put a block underneath your head. Just release your arms for a moment, rest your arms at the sides of the body, coming into child's pose. Feel how that makes heaviness on the forehead a little. If that feels unpleasant, then extend consciously from the shoulders into the fingertips, lengthening consciously into the shoulders and into the fingertips. Just breathe lightly but deeply. And then just come up onto your knees. If you're not doing dog down, then do dandasana, sitting down on your legs. So stretching your legs out, sitting up into a right angle, and then stretching the legs away. So it's this shape, but you're sitting on your legs rather than sitting on the seat bone, stretching the legs away rather than upside down. So feel your body's response to the pose, whichever it is that you're doing. Draw your attention inwards and observe whether or not you are working evenly within the pose. Are the thighs activated, the fronts of the thighs especially? Are they pushing through to the backs of the knees? Are you turning the fronts of your thighs inwards so that the backs of the thighs broaden outwards, so that the heels start to separate? Are you working with evenness between the arms and the legs? Is the breath a part of the pose or an afterthought? Feel the lungs consciously, feel the chest accommodate the breath. Step your feet forwards, just come up into a standing position. Get a couple of blocks for your hands. And bring your feet as wide apart as your mat. So feel that your feet are on the outside edge of your mat. So you can feel the edge of your mat on the outside edge of your feet. So can you feel it around the little toe side? Can you feel it around the heel? So if you can't, bring the heel out a little more so that you can feel that your feet are in line with the edge of the mat. Just have a quick look, make sure that that is the case. Doesn't matter if you've gone over the edge of the mat very slightly, because you probably have to feel it. So draw your attention into the feet, into how they connect to the ground. Lengthen the toes away from the heel. Spread the toes. Tighten your kneecaps, lift up into the chest. And then elevate the heart area upwards. Raise your arms up to the ceiling. Have your arms wide. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. This is a good position for positive thinking. Presenting the heart area to the skies. Bring your hands down onto your hips, lift up into the chest, and then hinge at the hips. Feeling the seat bones rising away from the backs of the thighs, and then come onto the fingertips. Do the cow pose with the pelvis. Lift the seat bones away from the backs of the thighs really intensely. Lengthen from the abdomen to the diaphragm, to the collarbone, to the chin. Draw the shoulder blades in. If you can go lower, then do, but not at the expense of losing extension. Keep the legs straight. No bending of knees. Project the chin and the chest forwards. If you can come forwards down onto the floor, then again do, but not at the extent of losing, at the expense even of losing extension. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Feel your legs hip back so that you bring the weight into your heels. See through the feeling of the pose. See through your feet. through the soles of the feet, through the tops of the feet, through the shins, through the thighs, through the hips, through the abdomen, through the rib cage. Listen to the breath. See the breath through the feeling of the chest expansion and retraction. Bring your hands into your hips, bend your knees on the way up if you need to, and then come up into the standing position. Just be in Tadasana. Listen to the sound of the breath as it enters and as it exits. Bring your arms out nice and wide into the chest, and then step or jump into wide legs for trikonasana. Turn the left toes in, the right leg and foot all the way out. So without looking with your eyes, feel with your body that your feet are in the right alignment. So feel that the heel of the front leg, the right leg, is in line with the instep or the toes of the back leg. Have a quick look, make sure that indeed that is the case. Adjust it if you're not quite there. Bring the chest to the front. Just feel the firmness of the legs. Keep the kneecaps tight and lift from the feet up into the shins, up into the thighs, and then turn the thighs outwards, especially this front leg. Keep the chest and the abdomen facing the front, reach over, and then keep those legs strong and straight as you reach down and find the shin. Feel that the body is in alignment. That the front leg, buttock bone, squeezes forward a little so that it comes in line with the heel, with that right heel. Keep that back leg hitting towards the wall behind you. Keep sucking up from the feet, into the shins, into the thighs, into the hips, into the chest, and turn that chest up to the ceiling. Just have a quick look down. Is your head directly over your foot? If it's not, then lift the chest a little more. Squeeze the front leg buttock bone in a little more perhaps. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Are you collapsing into that right hand, or can you reach up into that left hand? Bring lightness into the arms. Come back to the center, and then swap the feet around. Turn the right toes in, left leg and foot all the way out. Just ensuring initially that the feet feel like they are in the right place. A quick look. Just make sure that they are. Turn the legs. Keep the legs strong and long as you come over, reaching up into that right hand as much as reaching down into the left. And then feel the body in 3 dimensions. Feel where the seat bone of that front leg is. Is it in line with the hip? Can you feel your way into listening to the body? Listen to the feet connecting to the floor. Are you collapsing into the feet, or are you lifting out of the feet? Have a quick look down. Is your head over the foot? Like if you lift the chest a little more, if it's not, reach up to that top hand like the sun rising in the away from the horizon. And then come back to the centre, bring the feet parallel, just feel the feet in connection with the mat. And then step or jump your feet together and then come back into Tadasana. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. See the body in 3 dimensions. Feel the skin from the face to the feet. From the feet to the face. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Okay, you'll need a chair or like a little table or something that feels quite sturdy. And then we're just going to do standing marychyasana. So just face the chair. So you don't want to be too far away, about kind of half a metre away from the chair. And then you're just going to raise your right leg. And then let me just do this so that I'm facing you. So you're going to raise your right leg and then you just lift up into the chest. And then you're just going to bring your left hand onto the outside of the right knee. Bring the small of the hand into the small of the back. And then you lift the chest and turn. Okay, so let's do that together. So just be in Tadasana with the feet. Spread the toes and then keep the left foot where it is and then bring the right foot up onto the chair or onto the lift. Make sure that you haven't moved that left foot. It hasn't kind of slid out to the side. It's in the 2 feet are basically in Tadasana even though they're not together. So lift up into the heart area, lift up into the chest. And then bring the left hand around to the outside of the knee, bring the other hand into the small of the back. Keep that standing leg in Tadasana, so rotate that frontal thigh inwards, elevate the heart area up, and then turn to the right side. Elevate the heart area up, work from the foot. So you probably can't see your foot, the standing foot. Work from the foot, feel it connected to the ground, lift out of the foot into the shin, into the knee, into the thigh, into the hips, into the spine. And the more you elevate the spine, the more you can turn. Keep the shoulders down, keep elevating the torso upwards. And then come back to the center and bring the feet together. Did that standing foot, did you have to kind of reset it when you came down, or was it already in place for Tadasana? So that standing foot, often it wants to kind of turn outwards. So you have to really consciously work that foot, keep it in place. So just do Tadasana, lift up into the chest, feel how the feet connect to the ground. And then don't disturb that right leg, and then bring the left foot up onto the chair. So at this stage, just go back to Tadasana in the standing leg, turn in that frontal thigh, turn it inwards. Feel that your weight can go into the heel of that standing foot. Lift up into the chest. Lengthen the arms down initially in Tadasana. Feel from the foot up into the leg, up into the hips. Do the hips feel level? Often with this lifted foot, it also depends on the height of your chair to a degree, but does it lift that hip higher? Can you lengthen from the armpit down into the hip of that bent leg? And then turn, bring the right hand around to the outside of the left knee, bring the other hand into the small of the back. As you turn, try not to lose the turn of the standing leg. Rotate the chest. Just listen to the breath. Push the back hand into the small of the back. Elevate the heart area and then turn. Pulling against that left leg. Okay, and then gently come back to the center and then come back into Tadasana. Just move the chair out of the way for a moment. Oh, try not to smash it up. And then come back into Tadasana. So maybe there is a feeling that you have extended or tested the outer hips. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Listen to the breath. Filling your lungs from the top to the bottom, emptying your lungs from the bottom to the top. So we're going to do malasana. So malasana is a really interesting pose. So get a couple of blocks and then sit yourself down on those blocks. You might want a little bit more height, and so if you've got blocks, then what you can do is so I've got my 2 blocks here, and I'm going to get a blanket and I'm going to just drape the blanket just over the front edge of the blocks, so that the other end of the blanket kind of comes onto the floor. So that will help you to so that will make you sit a little bit higher, but you can put your heels on there. So just sit. So if I'd show you that sideways, so the blanket, and then you put the blanket on the floor and then kind of comes up over the 2 blocks. So sit onto the blanket. So it might not be very kind of sturdy blanket, but just stretch the legs away. So this will encourage you, because there's probably not very much blanket to sit on, this should encourage you to roll onto the front edge of the seat bones. Just maybe move the buttock flesh out to the side a little, and then lift up into the chest. And then bend up your right leg and then bring the heel onto the edge of the blanket, and then bend up the other leg, and then the action is to shuffle forwards. Now I've not given myself very much room, so I'm just going to shuffle that blanket towards the blocks a little bit more, and then it's still under my heels, but if it's too far away it will be really difficult to lift. So you hold onto your knees and then elevate the heart area up towards the ceiling. And then you're going to raise your arms and then you swing yourself forwards and then you come up. Just keeping the heels down. Turning the tailbone in, lifting the chest. Draw your shoulders consciously away from your ears. Tuck the tailbone in and then lengthen forwards. Smile. Release the jaw, release the tongue. And then gently come back down. Just stretch the legs out in front. So, not everyone needs the blanket, but often when because we don't do this pose very often it's a really good way to start to have those heels down. Now, if you know that you don't need that blanket there, then you can just move it out of the way. You can just sit on the blanket, just put the blanket kind of on top of the blocks, just for a little additional height. A little height is always useful. If you find that you find it difficult to lift, then you can put some additional blocks at the sides. Let me just grab them. You can put some additional blocks at the side, and then you can use those to kind of help you to lift off. So just sit in position, either using the blanket underneath your heels or just directly on the floor. Hold onto your knees. Bring the feet as close to the body as you can. Lift up into the chest. Raise your arms, and then you kind of round the back a little, which is unusual for many yoga poses, but keep the front chest lifted. Keep the front chest lifted, extend into the armpits, and then keep the knees drawing apart a little, and then try and draw the chest down towards the floor. Reaching forwards, keeping the shoulders away from your ears as much as you can. And then you're trying to bring your elbows or your armpits lower than your shins, and then see if you can bring the hands back and then lift. So bring the backs of the hands onto the floor and then lift the chest. Okay, and then gently release and then stretch the legs out in front. So the full pose, which is something that I'm kind of nowhere near, is where you wrap your hands around the backs of your knees, and then you do namaskar behind the back. You bring your hands into prayer position behind your back. So a little bit of room to move into that. I'm nowhere near that myself, so don't worry if you're nowhere near that either. So lift up into the chest, elevate the heart area, and then just stay sitting on the lift and come into swastikasana. So spend a few moments listening to the breath, feeling the body's accommodation of the breath. So by that I mean that the chest puffs up with the inhalation. It expands upwards and outwards, and it relaxes with the out-breath. It's all part of the respiratory function. So as you inhale, the intercostal muscles between the ribs expand, and as you exhale, they contract, helping the exhalation process. So of course the diaphragm is the main muscle of respiration, but the rib cage also plays a role in inhalation and exhalation. Just look at the floor ahead of you, look at something that doesn't move, and just observe the breath. Just close your eyes for a moment and just take yourself back to that beach. Listening to the waves in synchronicity with your breath. So the in-breath draws the water into the shore. The out-breath pushes it back into the ocean. Feeling the sun on your skin. Hearing the birds in the sky. Feeling the freedom of being in warmth, in a carefree environment, and nothing is required of you other than just to be. And then gently open your eyes, just bring yourself back into the room. Pull against the knees, lift up into the chest, and then turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across, your ribs and your shoulders across. Just feel the body in 3 dimensions, observe the freedom or otherwise of the pose. Observe how the pose feels different perhaps to how it felt at the beginning. Come back to the center, hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest, and then turn to the left. And then gently come back to the center. Just come off your lift, and then just for a couple of moments we're going to go into viparita karanhi. If you're not doing inversions, you can do setubandha. In fact, let's all start in setubandha just briefly. Come down onto the floor, just observing the straight line of the floor. Just allow the knees to fall apart. You can put blocks on the outsides of the thighs if there's discomfort in the knees, but otherwise just let gravity draw open the inner groins. If you're doing inversions this morning, then bend your knees and then raise your legs to the ceiling. Just listen to the breath. Listen to the inhalation and the exhalation. To avoid inversions if you want a period, although we're only staying very briefly, so just a little stay will be okay. If you've got heart or blood pressure issues that aren't being regulated with medication, also eye or ear infections, better not to go upside down, although this is just a brief inversion, so they shouldn't be affected too badly. But just work with the legs for a moment, or stay in setubandha. And then bend your knees, bring your feet down onto the floor. Get a folded blanket for underneath your head. Just come up onto your elbows, make sure you're in a really good straight line. And then allow the body to gently release into the floor. Let go of the muscles of the arms and the legs. Unhook the muscles. So that the body becomes heavy on the ground. of that perceivable heaviness comes a sensation of lightness radiating from the bones and into the muscle. Into the muscles and the organs. And the flesh and the skin. Using your in-breath and your out-breath to fill the body with positive energy, distributing that sensation of energetic lightness down into the toes, into the fingers and up into the top of the head. Just basking in that feeling of energetic lightness. When you're ready to disturb yourself, gently wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers, bring yourself back into this pose of Shavasana. And then draw your knees in towards your chest. Just have a little rock from top to bottom, from side to side, just a gentle massage on the spine. And then gently roll over onto your right side. Just stay down for a breath or two. And then stretch out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just final cross legs with your hands in the masti. Final spinal lift. Draw your breath in through your nose and down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice. This morning, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the forward bends, and the twists and the inversions bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you have created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then gently release the backs of your hands down toward your knees. Palms facing upwards, bring the tip of the index finger with the tip of the thumb. A gesture of wisdom, physical intelligence, and peacefulness that we can carry into our day. And then just raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open. Just sit for a moment and observe how perhaps the body feels awake, perhaps the mind feels more awake, maybe the skin feels more awake. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining me. So hopefully you feel as though you have just lifted your energy and brought some quiet consciousness to the body and to the mind. Thank you very much for joining me.